The Bible passage we're reading today is really sort of directed at about half of the audience, the male half. But the principles here are so good that even if you happen to be a member of the female half of our species, I'd like you to pay attention anyway. Here it is now in Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. You know, the word love has been thrown around so much by modern pop culture that we've kind of forgotten what real love is all about. The Top 40 Countdown has us convinced that the rush of adrenaline you feel when you notice somebody attractive is love. And TV commercials have us convinced that you can love a plate of spaghetti or a piece of apple pie. And I guess in some small way, the word we use in English to describe love can be used a lot like that. But in the Bible, most of the time, when it's talking about love, it's talking about something that has little to do with your five senses or feelings, and it has everything to do with principle. You see, gentlemen, when the Bible calls you to love your wives the way that Christ loved the church, it's not just asking you to buy flowers once in a while or help out around the house. It's actually asking you to lay your life on the line. When Jesus took the church as his bride, it cost him everything he had. And in Jesus' case, he was perfectly innocent. All of the mistakes and all of the blame in that relationship fall squarely on the church, the people of God. Yet Christ was willing, for the sake of his bride, to become, as Paul puts it, sin for her and pay the ultimate price. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he prayed for her and agonized over her until sweat like great drops of blood poured from his forehead. Now, I'm guessing if you took that story and compared it to the way you conduct yourself in your marriage, you're going to have to admit that you fall a long way short of the ideal. In just about every marriage I've ever seen, men have trouble breaking out of the me mode. When our wives do something to hurt us, we close our mouths and shut them out. Or we use the football game or the newspaper as a tactical retreat so we can avoid just dealing with the situation. And in the vast majority of cases, we are just as much to blame as our wives when there's a disagreement. It's just that our male egos won't let us admit it. Now, I'm not arguing for a softer, more gentle you. In fact, over the 80s and 90s, I think in some ways men gave up too much masculine territory under public pressure to get in touch with our feminine side. That's not my point at all. Men are exactly what God made them, and there's nothing wrong with being a real man. In fact, that's the whole point of this passage. Paul says that real men are still knights in shining armor, willing to die before they let anything happen to their wives. Even if we suspect our wives are wrong in a given situation, we'll still go the distance to protect our homes and guard our marriages. And I'm guessing, men, when your wives have that kind of security in their marriage, that both you and your wives are going to discover it's just a better way to live.